Hi, I hope you guys are having a great morning. I just wanted to stop and say a little something since I haven't really been on social media this week. There's been a lot going on, as I'm sure you all know. I'm actually just now getting in from my run. I run every Saturday morning. Usually start around 6 a.m. before most of the city's gotten out of bed. Usually I run about 10 miles, sometimes more, sometimes less. To be clear, it's not that I enjoy running, nor am I particularly fast. I mean, I don't think Mo Farah has anything to worry about. Mostly it's my time for reflection. You know, some people go to church, some people go to temple, some people do yoga. Me, I run. And this past week, it's been an eventful one. The usual jogging pace of life has been transformed into a full sprint. So have many of our emotions. Many of those emotions playing out on social media. I've largely stayed off of social media this week. Not because I don't care, but rather simply because as a black man, what's happening right now isn't so much news to me as it is just the world waking up to a normal reality that I've had to face my entire life. I've learned to temper my anger at the indignities that life has to offer. It doesn't make any of life's atrocities any easier to stomach, but one does develop something of an automatic force field that basically helps protect your heart and allows you to go on. The death of George Floyd has galvanized the nation. It has spurred peaceful protest around the world and even garnered support from some of the most unlikely advocates. I do question the motivation of some corporations filling up my email inbox with their logo and discounts on black products. It doesn't feel too genuine. The truth is that George Floyd is neither the first nor likely the last victim of our original sin. In fact, he's not even the first black man to be killed by police screaming the words, "I can't breathe," within the last 3 years. As I go for my own run, it's not hard to be reminded that less than 4 months ago, Ahmaud Arbery was murdered for doing exactly the same thing. Or less than 3 months ago, Breonna Taylor was killed for sleeping. And let us not forget the number of black trans women who've been killed this year just for daring to exist. If upon hearing about these most recent tragedies you're shocked and appalled, I applaud you. You should be. The fact that I can hear these stories and not be too devastated to even leave my own bed is more a reflection on the earned calluses that life has had to offer. All the times I myself have been pulled over by the police. The time my Sunday school teacher was pulled over and held at gunpoint by multiple squad cars simply because I guess he committed the crime of being too poor to have a nicer car. The time I was literally cornered by security in a food court for daring to eat my lunch. The multiple times I've been followed around stores by store owners assuming I'm going to steal something despite the fact that I'm wearing a three-piece suit. The restroom stalls in my high school being littered with racial epithets. My fellow students who left fecal matter and hateful notes in my locker apparently because they didn't appreciate my presence. Being called the N-word on more than one occasion and being threatened with physical violence. Having to choose between defending my pride or risking my life by speaking up and being considered too uppity. Entering business meetings and being told on the record that my services wouldn't be required because that company didn't produce urban stories. When you live with such indignities on a daily basis, it's a requirement to build up your defense mechanisms just to make it through the day. It's a daily struggle to protect your optimism. So when I see justified outrage spilling out into the streets and a growing acknowledgement that the problem is real among different sources, I'm very hopeful. But I'm also reminded that this isn't the first rebellion that I've lived through. This isn't the first death. This isn't the first movement in response to that death, nor will it be the last. So much like my morning runs when I'm already struggling by mile 2 and I see absolutely no way in the world I'm going to get to mile 10. Sometimes the key is to just keep moving, except that some steps are going to feel better than others. There will be moments where giving up feels like the only option. But as long as we keep daring to take those steps, we can move forward.